What's up, and welcome back to Opposites Attract Podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
What's up, everybody? This is take 3.
Wow. How is your day?
How is your week? How is your life?
What is going on with?
I don't know. I think because I was smiling.
You forget the intro after 74 episodes?
So we're starting. He's like, "Are you ready?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I'm smiling like the entire time, and then you're over here getting stuff ready, and I'm like, "Okay, are we gonna do this?" And then I just forget who we are. Opposites attract.
Holy crap! Yeah, that's us, babe.
That was like take 3.
That's our show. Welcome to our show, babe.
It is our show. Pretty crazy. Man. What's up, everybody?
What's going on, babe?
Good times.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Feeling good. Feeling sore still.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It's great because that just means that we're not getting used to, what it is that we're doing. So
that's good.
It's all good. Had a good workout. How was your jits?
Fucking
today?
jits? Fucking jits? How was fucking jits? Jits was great. It was good. Now I was telling you earlier, like today I woke up and in a way I was hoping that I was going to get up too late to go.
Yeah.
But I woke up at 7:30, which is plenty of time to go.
Right. I know. I woke up at 6:30 today.
Oh man. And then I was just like,
you're like, are you going to work out today? I'm like, yes.
Yeah. It's one of those things that, like I told you before, it's like every time, whenever there's something that you're supposed to do that you don't feel like doing, working out, jiu-jitsu being one of them, which is not usually the case. But when you do it anyway, more often than not, it's going to be good. Yes. And that's what happened today. Like I wasn't really feeling it, and I showed up to class, and it was great. It was a great class. Like there was some new people there, and I was rolling with somebody, and I learned. Or afterwards, I was like, hey, like, is there anything that, that you can think of that I got to work on or whatever? And he was like it was like a private lesson. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. From somebody else. So it was really cool. Yeah. 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 It was cool to, I'm usually working when they go to JITS. Fucking JITS. And so I went with them, twice? I think last week or something like that. And yeah. It was good to see Joey and Audrey and, yourself as well. So it was cool to be there. So Miguel, at the beginning, when this whole coronavirus thing started, he made a few masks and he did such a great job. And I've been needing more masks. Yeah. And my husband is no longer interested in making masks. It's not happening. It's not happening. I went to Walmart and CVS, and I saw these masks. This show is not sponsored by CVS or these masks. Kind of cool, right? So this is very... You're going to wear a mask during the podcast? What? It's cute, right? It's cute. Yeah. Can you just pull out the tag, baby, and tell me where it's made? It's probably in Wuhan. It's probably made in Wuhan. Yeah, it's made in China. Of course. What would you expect? I mean, it's either made in China or it's made in Central America. So where did the coronavirus come from? Yeah, it came from China. And where's the mask made? In China. Well, you're either going to get it from China, from maybe Bangladesh is probably, Pakistan maybe. Like those are just, that's what they do. It's just crazy though. Yeah, it's crazy. So I'm like, I'm not buying. No, I'm not supporting that shit. That's why I'm going to find someone here that makes them, and I'm going to buy them from someone here. Or you can make the t-shirt mask that I make. But you did such a great job. No, not when you can buy masks. I'm not gonna spend freaking 3 hours making one mask when I can pay freaking $7 or $10 for a mask at CVS. I married Michael fucking Stewart. Yeah, right.
You've always said that.
I know, because check this out. So I took home ec, okay, and I made a bear and a pillow. Like, I sold me some stuff, but I'm not a big fan of it. I have a sewing machine.
Sewing, yeah.
And Miguel is just great at it. Like, you are really good at making straight lines. So whenever I need something sewn, I go to Miguel.
Yeah.
And what's hilarious is our kids go to daddy.
They don't ask you to sew stuff?
Well, Joey did. His bunny, there was a tear. What's going on? I got something on my chest.
On your chest?
No. You're just looking at my chest.
No, you don't got nothing on your chest. I was just looking at your chest.
Oh, okay.
At the titties.
So Joey's like, Mommy, can you sew my bunny? And I was going to sew his bunny, but, Mommy had to work all day and Daddy was home all day. So Daddy ended up sewing the bunny. But my first thought was go to your daddy, because if I sew the bunny,
there's still going to be a hole in it.
The stitches are going it's not going to be a very straight stitch. But the bunny will live. No,
I sew. I can sew a couple things. Yeah. And it's not like I can freaking sew. Like, I don't know. Like,
dude, like my mask.
I'm going to make you.
I love my mask. And not only that, what's so great about my mask? He made it from his dress shirt.
Yeah.
So when I'm out there, I have a piece of you on my face.
Yeah. And
it's very comfy. Like, it's way more comfortable than this. And it's not as hot. Because this is like 3 layers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm still not making another
So maybe
mask.
you'll find it in your heart.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. You're going to have to give me some favors.
Yeah. I'll trade you something. No.
Oh, man.
But I just thought it was funny as shit.
Yeah.
When I pulled this out.
Oh, yeah, no.
And I saw that it was made in China. And I'm like, okay.
Actually, it's funny that you did that, because I did that when you brought the mask home.
Did you?
Actually, no, maybe not that one. Where'd you get the other ones? You got some other ones?
Same.
Oh, same? Yeah. So I did it with the other ones.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, these are cute. And I pull out and look at the label and I'm like, oh, the hell, man.
Yeah.
I'd rather support a small business here that's making them or something,
Well, good luck finding a small bit, or like people that are. Well, there are people making them here.
This one was just convenient. I was just at CVS and I saw them and I'm like, oh, these are cute. And I grabbed, a few.
That's one thing that has our country in trouble, is that we don't make stuff here.
Yes.
Hardly anything.
But I thought that they would be made here because of everything that's happening.
No, babe, we don't sew shit here. They don't. Like, we send that out to get made.
That's a problem.
Unless you buy stuff from origin, like the Jockos, like that is 100% everything, which is freaking crazy.
Yeah, that is.
But that's why, like, the stuff is more expensive, but the quality is really good. And I mean, not like a plug, but it's kind of cool though, because it is literally everything. The thread, if you want to make something, like, you order fabric, where do you get fabric from? From another country. Well, then it's not 100% made here. With their stuff, like, they get the cotton from another state. They repaired the machines to make thread and loom fabric and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, not to get into freaking Martha Stewart's podcast here.
No, it's not. It's Michael Stewart.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So the other day we were having breakfast.
Yeah.
And I looked over at you and I started laughing. Do you remember that? And then I got my phone and I started writing something in my phone. And you're like,
yeah. I was like, what are you writing down?
No, you said, what are you going to talk shit about? That's what you said.
Yeah. And now we're here.
So I just think it's so cute. And our son gets it from you.
What?
Who eats a piece of bacon with a fork? You do.
Me.
And you eat a chicken, like a drumstick with a fork.
I'll stab it with a fork and then eat it.
Yes. And so I was looking at you and I'm looking at our son and I'm like, okay, because we always say we're like, he's a lot like your grandfather.
Yep. And that is my grandfather.
And that is you, my love.
Yeah. I get that I must get it from my grandfather too.
But I'm like, funny. What the hell? Is he eating a bacon with a fork? I'm like, he's eating his bacon with a fork. Like this manly man, right, who is tough, is eating a piece
not
of
tough.
bacon with a fork.
No.
It's so cute.
I don't have to get my fingers dirty.
Let me see. Pick up that cup. Show me how do you drink?
I get it, and then I got my pinky out like that. Like,
I'm just messing with you.
yeah. Speaking of Joey, the other day we were, where were we? We were coming from somewhere. I don't know. We were in the car, and he was asking me about like school. Once he's done with school, we were driving by the high school, and he was saying, "So is that gonna be my high school, or can I go to third grade there?" And I was like, "Well, they don't have a third grade. You know, it's high school, so they only have 10th, 11th, and 12th."
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, so when I go to 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, he's like, when I'm done with school, then I can get a job? And then I started thinking, I was like, no, you can get a job while you're in school. And I was like, I had a job when I was in school. And then when I started thinking about all the jobs that I had before I ever finished school, I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
And I started thinking, I was like, does that still happen today? Because, and I'm not even talking about under the table jobs, like side jobs where I made some money.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like actual jobs where I got a W-2 and paychecks.
Right. You were working at the age of 12, right?
Yeah, under the table, yeah.
I was working at the age of 14, not under the table. But it was a summer job, and I got a lot of my clerical experience. Like I was riding a bus from 40th Street. Okay, this is Arizona, 40th Street in Washington, all the way to downtown Phoenix at the age of 14.
Yeah, how far was your bus ride? That's what you got to give us, the bus ride. How far was it?
That's how far it was.
No, how long?
Oh, man, I don't know.
It's like a 40-minute bus ride?
Yes, about, yeah.
Yeah, that's
you're
far
talking about
for a 14-year-old.
Downtown Phoenix.
Yeah. Well, if people in India are listening, they don't know where 40th Street and which welcome our Indian listeners. I put our podcast out there because, hey, worldwide, whatever.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean,
yeah.
So like at 14 years old to take a freaking 40-minute bus ride.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the thing is that, like I used to do that kind of stuff too.
Dude, you hear
I don't know if that would happen today.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, when we had our nephews, even our niece, like they weren't about to take a bus. You were picking up and taking her to school.
Yeah.
And I mean, the boys, I would drop them off.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
And there's no way, like, I don't know. Maybe there are some kids taking a bus and doing what they got to do. I don't know any.
Yeah. So when we were talking about it, I started thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? So I started telling Joe, and I was like, I used to work at the Flushing Public Library when I was in New York. I was like, I worked at a nightclub, at a bar, and that was
under the table.
No, we got paychecks.
Oh,
I was on the books. We got paychecks for that.
Yeah.
Some money was under the table, but we actually did get paychecks. So I worked at the library. I worked at the nightclub. I worked at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
I worked at Taco Bell. And I worked at a grocery store, kind of like what we have here, Fry's or whatever, but it was in Florida. But I was just kind of thinking, I was like, dude, that was all by 17, 18 years old. I already had like 5 legit jobs.
Yeah. I remember getting off the bus, high school, and on Camelback, like near 24th Street or 28th Street in Camelback, I would go, and they had Dairy Queen, they had Burger King, they had a flower shop, and I was going down the block.
Yeah.
Applying for jobs.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? When I remember working at McDonald's and at Taco Bell, this has been me from the beginning. Like I started making the food, and I ended up going to the drive-thru. Like it's been my thing since I was a kid.
No wonder you get... So Miguel has this thing with fast food. Like,
what are you talking about?
Dude, if you can't get my order right, you shouldn't be working here. Now I understand why you take it so personal.
because you were probably that kid who made sure that everything.
You know what? You know what we should do when we have our money. We have the money to invest on stuff. We should buy. I'm gonna buy one of every fast food franchise, and I'm gonna be like
That's a headache.
I'm gonna be like a fucking dictator to everybody there. I'm like, dude, if you fuck up an order, you're gonna have hell to pay. You know what I mean? Because that shit drives me crazy, man.
It happens to Miguel. Like, it always happens.
No, but what I was saying was, as far as like looking for that next thing to do, like as soon as I got there, I was like, okay, I'm gonna learn how to make this food. All right, you put the fries in, hit the button. Freaking put the burgers down, hit the button. Then you pull them out, flip them, hit the button. And then little by little, you learn how to do all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, so what's next? Okay, so now I can go to the drive-thru. And then from the drive-thru, I go to the cashier. And then like, that's just what I always have focused on. It's like, all right, now that I know this, what's the next thing for me to do?
I don't think you could teach that.
Which is one of those things where, I don't know, not to get into like a political thing or whatever, but like there's people that debate back and forth about minimum wage and all this stuff. And it's like, dude, that's not supposed to be an ending point. You're not, you know what? Start me off at $2 an hour. I don't give a fuck, because it's only going to be like, I mean, obviously $2 is really low, but you know what? I won't take a job for $2 an hour. Right. So the market will dictate what's fair. The thing is that regardless of where I start, that is not where I'm going to stay. You know, so if the minimum wage was back then $7 or whatever, or $6, I don't know what it was. Yeah. My plan was to get out of minimum wage as fast as possible. And the only way to do that, I wasn't asking like, hey, you should give me a raise. I was like, I need to learn how to work the register.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm going to go fucking cook this food, mop the floor, and I'm going to pay attention to, hey, show me how to work that machine.
So how do you teach that, or can you teach that? And the only way I can see is if you lead by example. You know, like the kids see, okay,
yeah,
daddy was doing this. Daddy started taking, some college classes.
Daddy
went,
There's a very bad word that's going around right now, and it's entitlement. Like, you're not entitled to shit. You got to work for shit. You need to work for stuff, and you need to earn it. Like, you're not entitled to make $15 an hour. Like that. This is.
No, I get it. Yeah.
You know what? This is some real shit right now, because for real, they want. A couple years back, they were talking about how the federal minimum wage needed to be $15 an hour, because below that, it's not a fair wage, and you just can't live off of that. I worked on helicopters for, I think when I first, like as a civilian, when I first got back into aviation.
Like 17.
I think I started at 15 as a contractor, and then I went to 17 once I got hired by the company. But you're going to tell me that the minimum wage is going to be $15. Now, you're going to get paid $15 for flipping burgers, and I'm going to get paid $15 for putting together helicopters. Right. You can kiss my fucking ass. Because one has way more responsibility than the other one, and one has way more skills that you need to learn than the other one.
Right.
But you know what? This is the thing, is that there's things that I can't control. And you know what I did? I made my fucking $15 an hour, and I got out of that shit as fast as possible. In 2 years, I think my pay had gone up like over $5 an hour, because it was never my plan to stay there.
Right. Similar story. When I started in the legal industry, I was going to school, and I ended up making $13 an hour, working a job, going to school, and then I got my Pell Grant taken away.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, how am I going to, because I wanted to be an attorney.
Yeah.
Now what are the steps? And I was so against getting a school loan, and I was not aware of the scholarships. Like I just, I had no idea. But I figured out, if I get my foot in the door, even if it's as a secretary, a clerk, I can learn. And move up. And I ended up taking a job and taking a $3 pay cut from $13 to $10 an hour, got into a firm, and just worked my way up and worked my way up.
Yeah. That's how I mean, no matter where you start,
it's a start.
That's exactly what it is. Yep, you're right. It's a start. That's it.
Yep.
So
I don't know how we got into that, but
we never get to the stuff on our list because we go off on some shit.
But it's real.
It's true.
Like you can't. Okay, so speaking of entitlement, how do you feel about us and leaving the kids a legacy? I mean,
that's a tough one.
We had to work really hard to get where we are. So are we going to leave them the houses and leave them? Do you see what I'm saying?
Well,
or are we going to make them work for it?
They got to work in this thing.
And that's why a trust, and I know that that's something like we need to look into, but I know that there's a way that we can word it where we give certain criteria. Like they have, 18 with the job or grades. Or, like there's just certain criteria that they have to meet in order for them to start.
And if not, it goes all to the orphans. Fuck it. You're not getting a dime. You had way more of a head start.
That's very mean. Like that's harsh.
What was that? There was a comedian. It was either, was it Bill Gates? It might have been Bill Gates, or it was a celebrity. Something like their kids were, they were acting a certain way, and they're like, hey. They're like, I'm rich. Like
I can't remember. You told,
right?
I can't remember who that was.
It was like, hey, take it easy. Like when you're like, we're rich. It's like,
was it Kevin Hart?
I don't know who it was, but it's freaking funny. He's like, we are not rich.
I'm rich.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
I get it.
That's a real thing. Like we need to think about that.
I think Bill Gates, I don't know how much money he's leaving to his kids. I've heard. I don't know if it's true or not. You guys can look it up if you want to. But I think there was a thing like he's only leaving a certain amount of money to his kids. Like you're not getting billions of dollars.
So, okay, this is funny. So I did a signing. Very well off couple. Very well off. Uh-huh. You know what they said?
What?
Because their kids were talking about, hey, what
are we going to do when our parents die?
No, what's in the trust? Like, and they said, well, no. Listen, this is the way it works. Okay. We're retired. Yeah. Oh, we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun. And whatever is left is yours.
That's a good fucking move.
Right?
Hell yeah.
I'm down.
Let's fucking party.
Yes. Like, yeah, let's have a good time. We worked so hard for this. And hey, whatever's left, then they can have.
You know what? Like you were saying with the kids, my thought is like we're building something with the houses, with the podcast, with the business, with everything. Like eventually we're going to get to the point where we're working for us. Like it's just us doing our thing for us.
Yeah.
Like we're not working for anybody else.
Right.
The kids have the opportunity to get in it.
Oh, definitely.
Now, it's not going to be easy. And because we are the owners of all of it, you're going to get paid whatever. Like, depending on... Like, you can't just go and start taking money out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to earn it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like on a different subject, but I remember reading this article about... There was a rapper that got signed to... Or 50 Cent signed this rapper, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as he got signed by 50 Cent, he was kind of like, I made it. I'm good. Like, I'm signed to the G Unit record label. And, right at that time, they were like, they had so many hit songs. Like, they were taking over as far as like pop music goes. And so obviously this was a long time ago. But so this dude kind of treated it that way. So he stopped working as hard and he went on a tour with 50 Cent and these other guys. And when you're putting on a show, there's other guys with microphones and 50 Cent is rapping his part. And you got the other guys in the crew and they're supposed to like emphasize words and get the crowd into it and hands up and down and this and that. And 50 Cent noticed that this dude didn't even really know the words to his song. So how are you going to hype up the crowd and get them, hey, and getting everybody all excited? So he kind of noticed and he's like, you know what? he's not really down with us. So he kind of kicked him to the curb at that point. But the good thing about this guy is he's actually from Arizona. And I think his rap name was Hot Rod, but we've never heard of him here in the United States because he kind of got kicked to the curb. And what he could have did was start blaming 50 Cent. But what he did was he gave me an opportunity. Like, I'm signed to G Unit, which at the time was a big record label. He's like, just because of having that name alone, I could have had success.
Heck yes.
And I decided not to freaking work it.
That sucks.
So what he did was he went to Europe and he started making music under, like, he still used the G Unit name and started building his career. And he has like a big like EDM career in Europe now. And it's part of G Unit, but he said that he didn't want to go back and ask for anything because he already fucked up that opportunity.
Right.
But that's what it is like he got signed, so he kind of felt entitled to, like, I'm good, I made it, I'm set.
Right.
Which is not the case. You still got to earn it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Crazy.
I think you shared that with me like a while back.
Yeah. So the earlier in the week last week, I had a sad moment when I was sitting there working. I told you about it. And no, I just wanted to share it because it's something that you don't normally think about.
Yeah.
So
and most of us parents do the opposite.
Yeah. So I was I've been working from home. So I was sitting at in my cubicle, what I call my cubicle.
Which is my kitchen table.
It's the end of the dinner table. So I got my computer set up there with the other monitor and my keyboard. So I'm sitting there working, and the kids obviously are not going to school. So, well, it's the summertime anyway. But Joey comes downstairs, and he's in the kitchen. And he's like, Dad, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't know. And I'm sitting there clicking.
He's asking questions.
He's asking questions.
In this phase where everything is a question.
Everything, nonstop. Yeah. He wants to get to the bottom of everything. Mm-hmm. So, but he's asking me a question, and I'm like, that's another one I got to watch. But he can tell that when I go, it's not like I'm getting irritated. Like, what do you, like, can't you see I'm busy?
Right.
So I was like, what? And he asked another, but how come it does this? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe because of this. And I go back to work, typing up an email or doing whatever. Hey, Dad, what about this? I don't know, Joey, because of whatever. And I keep typing away, finishing up the email. Hey, Dad, what about this? And I'm like, in my head, I'm fucking going crazy because I'm trying to focus on what I'm doing for work, right, and it's nonstop. Question after question after question. And I was getting to the point where I'm like, hey, Joe, I'm working. Yeah. Like, I'm working right now. Leave me alone.
That's how you felt, but you did not say that.
So that's what I was feeling on the inside.
Right.
And then for a second there, I just took a deep breath. I was like, and I just said, I was just like, I love you, Joe. And he came running, super happy, with a smile on his face, and gave me a giant hug and a big old kiss. And I felt sad. I felt sad at the moment because I have done that before, where I have been frustrated. But the thing is that his attitude was happy.
Yeah.
He was happy right then. And I could have fucked it all up. Like, if I would have went off on him, it would have broke his little heart.
Yeah. That's huge for you. That's a huge breakthrough for you. You may not see it, but I see it.
No, it's a big thing,
It is.
And I noticed it, and I was like, man, that's so messed up. Yeah. So messed up.
But
that I almost
opposite.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something that I have to keep think about.
And that's a lot. That's a lot of individuals. That's a lot of people. And I'm sure everyone that's listening to this that has kids can relate to doing the total opposite. And so you shared that story with me the first time, and it made me tear, and it made me tear again because I know that it's a breakthrough for you.
Yeah.
So I'm
becoming more aware of,
proud of you. That's awesome.
This parenting thing is hard.
But it's great because
it is.
You're learning. Like, you're learning.
Yeah.
At the same time
We're
you're teaching,
learning.
You're learning, and you're learning more about you.
Yeah.
So
there's awesome. Another thing we were talking about was, like, everything that's happening in the world. You know, like all this crazy shit. It really is insane. Like the time that we're living through right now, like, okay, so you got obviously the pandemic. This is going down. At the same time, you have the politicians are fighting. The media is fucking everything up. They just, I guess in Houston, like a couple weeks ago, they kicked the Chinese out of the Chinese consulate and told them that they had to shut it down. China told the U.S. that they had to leave one of their consulates in China. So that shit's actually happening. Politics kind of seems like a joke. Like people are fucking around. Like you got this Epstein guy that had his pedophile island, and people are wondering if they're protecting people. His girlfriend gets busted. But we also caught a spy here in the United States that admitted to being a spy for China. So that's actual real shit.
That's happening.
Some of the stuff seems like
right
fucking,
now.
Some of it seems like fairy tale stuff. Some of it's real shit. Like we're actually at war. There's all kinds of crazy shit happening in the world. The economy, the dollar's gonna fucking crash eventually because we keep printing more and more money. And like we're sitting there talking, and I was like, you know what?
These are the conversations we have late at night.
Yeah.
Like or at the dinner table when the kids have already.
I was literally thinking, if me and you sat down, like if we were in the earlier parts of our relationship, and it's like,
and going through this,
living through this in an earlier part of our relationship, and we were like, hey, you want to have some kids? I'd be like, no. Absolutely not. Like, I don't want any kids right now.
It's so sad.
It is.
It's so sad. We were having this conversation and it made me so sad because it's the truth.
Now, I mean, for those of you out there having kids right now, congratulations.
Yeah.
Because obviously
it's just for us. We're talking about how we feel at this time.
I'm just saying, well, obviously, because the thing is that if you're having kids now, you couldn't have predicted all the crap that was going to be happening 9-10 months from then.
Hey, people.
Oh, my God.
If you're stuck at home together, hey, think about what we're talking about, okay?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot more, happening right now in the bedroom.
Yep. Hell yeah, I can't have any kids anyway, so we're good to go.
I know, but I'm talking about, those couples that are home and, they're...
Oh, yeah. No, like...
There's going to be many more babies.
No, I'm thinking 9 months from now.
Oh,
I mean, are we going to be out of this? I don't think so. I think this shit's still going to be a mess. Like, and if it's not the corona, it's, the economy and a bunch of other shit. There's going to be effects of this for a while.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
It's freaking crazy.
We were talking about moving. Like, just...
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's just skip. Let's move.
Yeah. It's freaking crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, it's like a nightmare. It is. It's like the Twilight Zone. Have you ever watched that?
I never really watched it. I used to see it come on.
Yeah.
I never really watched it.
We're freaking living it right now. In color, not black and white. In color. Because the Twilight Zone was black and white. But man. It is. It's just nuts. So, what is this on your list over here? I see your list because I never go.
Hey, you got your own list. Read your
I know,
own.
but we never go through your stuff because we always get on other topics. So I'm like,
if we start talking, let's share this.
Let's share this list here. Let's talk about this.
Well, speaking of school, like the kids going to school and all that, like we were talking the other day, and it's like, I don't know how it came up. Was it had to do with somebody catching on fire?
Oh, that was hilarious. So we were having dinner, baby. We were having dinner. And we were talking about...
I can't remember if it was somebody catching on fire or what.
Yeah, it was something. Were we talking about the candles? Because Joey, I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, but anyways. The bottom line was, it was kind of like, well, what do you do if you catch on fire? And our kids... Like I think you might have said it. You said it automatically. Like you were like, well, you got to stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah.
And like, I'm thinking to myself, like, yeah, that's what you got to do. Everybody knows that. And then like, we both thought it at exactly the same time. We're like, I wonder if they're teaching stop, drop, and roll in school. Yeah. Because this is the thing. When we were going to school,
that was the thing. Stop, drop, and roll. Like somehow we were going to catch on fire or...
Exactly. Like in school, it was like, look, it's not a matter of if, but when you catch on fire, you need to know this shit. Like, they teach you two things. They teach you stop, drop, and roll. And if you're around, you need to beat the shit out of that person that stopped, dropping, and rolling, right?
Yeah. So Miguel, so I said it. I'm like, wait a minute. They don't teach you guys this in school. And then Miguel looks at me and he's like, I was thinking the same thing because we were taught that in school. What happened to that? Where did it go? Does anybody know?
I don't know. I have no idea. Now they're teaching freaking what to do when there's an active shooter in the school, or also with the freaking bomb drills. We used to have bomb drills growing up.
Bomb drills?
Did you ever have bomb drills?
Fire drills? I don't think we've had.
No, we used to have
drills.
Fucking bomb drills. Like I remember there was a sign. I think it was a yellow and black sign. It was a bomb shelter. Usually like the school, at least in New York. Maybe it's because it was New York City and we expected to get bombed. But they would I think it was a yellow and black sign. I'll have to look it up. Maybe I'll download a picture and post it on the social media accounts.
Yeah.
But no, we used to. So I remember part of the drill was you had to get in the hallways because the hallways didn't have any windows. So they wanted everybody inside in the hallways, and we would sit down next to the walls so that when they dropped the bomb and all the windows broke, we were inside the building, not by the windows.
That's nuts.
Yeah, we used to have nuclear bomb drills. Fucking crazy.
The other day I got home and our poor dog looked like she was going to pass out.
Why?
It was fucking hot in here.
Was it?
Oh, Mike, I'm dying. Like, I'm dying. And I'm like, what in the world? And I remembered when your mom was here and your Tia Vicky, and they were going to ring you a new butthole because we got back from vacation and the house was super hot. But I'm thinking peak hours, right? Because, you know, that's this thing that Miguel has, this whole peak hours. And you save some money. And so you don't use electricity from 3 to 6. So I figured, it's just because of the time. And we were...
No, the AC went out that day.
Yeah. But the day when I came home, it was like 120 degrees outside.
Yeah, it's hot.
I was dying. I was about to call your mom up. Mom, you need to have a talk with your son. His cheap ass. No.
That was funny because... My mom and my godmother,
they're like, you don't need to be dealing with this. So we're going to have a talk.
There's a funny ass story because what happened, it was Audrey's birthday too. Because we left and I came back and fixed it by myself. Remember?
No, but go ahead.
So anyway, with the electricity,
I do.
With the electricity,
I remember.
There's this thing where like if They give you like a reduced rate throughout the entire day, except between the hours of 3 to 6 p.m.
Yes.
So at that time, it kind of goes up. It goes up quite a bit more. So anything that you use, it's going to cost you like 3 times as much. So what we do is like a couple hours before 3 p.m., the AC kicks on and it stays on and it cools the house down really cold. And then that will hopefully last a couple hours. And then it starts to get warm and then the AC will kick back on. And then it cools the house down again. So we left our nephew watching the house and the dogs.
Yes.
And luckily, it didn't break until the last day that we came back.
Yes.
Because we got home and we're like, dude, it's hot in this house. And I'm not talking about like it gets warm when the AC, like right around 6 o'clock when the AC is about to kick back on. It's getting hot in the house. That day, it was hot in the house. Like, it was freaking, you're sweating your ass off in the house. And we're like, what the hell? And he's like, yeah, the AC turns off. And I'm like, no, dude, it's too hot in here right now. So we go upstairs and it turns out the AC broke. But we were explaining because that's what we thought it was at first. Yeah. And we were explaining to my mom and my aunt that the AC turns off. So and they were like, they're like, this is unacceptable. Yeah. Like, you can't live like this.
They looked at me like, you're okay with this? You know, we're going to have a talk. And I'm going to have a talk with my son.
And then I'm going and I'm looking at stuff. I'm like, dude, the AC's not even turning on right now. I was like, oh, okay, hold on. It's not me. It's the freaking AC broke. It's not usually, I don't usually sweat my family out of, you know.
Right. But when I came home, it was super hot though. But the first thing that came to mind was, I'm calling my mother-in-law. I'm going to complain. I'm going to complain.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's funny.
That's okay. Save $1, baby. Save $1.
Hey, we're doing good.
No, we are.
We save $1 everywhere we can. Right?
Yeah.
Talking about all the busted up shit we got in this house.
Yeah. I need a new spatula. My poor mother-in-law felt sorry for me. She came one summer, and I had this measuring cup. It was broken, a little broken, but hey, it still worked.
It had a chip missing out of the spout where.
Yeah.
So usually you have a nice little spout where you can tip stuff over. Well, the spout was broken off.
And she's like, "You need a new one."
Hey, you can still measure stuff with that measuring cup.
Yeah. It still worked.
And
so we still used it.
And you know me, I don't like throwing shit away. So I'm like, dude, we can still use this.
I know. So
and I was like,
Miguel and I, we talk about, how we got to where we are. Not that we're balling out of control yet, but. And so I was making breakfast and I got my favorite spatula. And my favorite spatula is like cracked in 3 different places.
It's fine. So it's got a wooden handle.
Yeah.
And it's split down the handle in two sides. So it's like got the centerpiece and then it's got like 2 legs that stick out. It's like 3 legs. So you got to kind of
I love it.
So you got to kind of put it together and then grab it tight so that it doesn't separate.
Yes. I love it. My mother-in-law would so it is, but it's funny.
And
she would be so embarrassed.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fucking tape your little handle together so that it doesn't come apart.
With the duct tape?
Yeah.
Dude, I remember your Impala when we met. Okay, so when we met, Miguel had this like old Impala.
95 Impala.
Dude, I'm telling you that it was a nice car, but you just had everything was rigged. A lot of
No, what it is, it was a daily driver. I was talking to somebody earlier this week or a couple weeks ago. I should have never got rid of that car because I didn't get much for it. I should have just kept it and bought another car.
Yeah, and then that could have been your hobby.
That could have been, I could have fixed it up and got it nice. And if I don't have to drive it every day, it's not breaking all the time.
Right.
But yeah, no, those cars, I mean, especially like Chevy in the 90s, those things used to fall apart. Like the door panels would come off. So from the military, like I had some tape that we would use. It's they call it F4 tape, and it's black tape with a green stripe. And the more you stretch it and wrap it around itself, it kind of like fuses together and it gets tight. So there was things that would be broken, and I look in my toolbox. Oh shit, I got that roll of F4 tape, and I start wrapping shit up, and it wouldn't come apart. And it's like, oh, that's fucking. I think there was something that was touching something else.
Yeah.
So I got some safety wire that we use on the helicopters, and I'm just like rigging it up and pulling it apart so that it's not touching anymore. I was like, all right, cool, good to go.
Man, when we think about, we've been together for 12 years, and when you go back, 10 years. 11 years and think about like where we are today and everything that we've gone through, everything that we've grown through, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It is
cool.
But we had to sacrifice. We sacrificed a lot to get to where we are. And you had mentioned the other day that not to talk about politics, but how the government pretty much runs our country the way we run our homes. Or
No, we were talking about like the country. Like I wonder what country has like a positive, pretty much like a positive bank account, because all you hear about
is how
the U.S. is like how we're trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. And they're printing more money. I was like, I wonder what countries are like the opposite of. I was like, our country is in the position that the average American is.
Yeah.
It's like you got crazy debt that you have no idea how you're going to get out of.
Yep. And you have this plastic card that even if you don't have money in the bank, this plastic card will get you
all the money in the world.
No, for real.
Yeah.
And it's so easy just to swipe. Remember when we were buying, there was a car. It was
a BMW.
And we had money. We saved up how much cash?
18,000. I remember because it was one of the hardest things for me to do ever.
Yeah. So we decided, when you have this cash in hand that you work so hard for, it's difficult just to make a decision. Like this car, most of the time you'll fall in love with the car, the way it looks. And automatically, here you go.
it's harder to purchase that car when you're purchasing that cash versus going and getting a loan.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing is that, yeah, that's exactly right. Like when we were looking at a BMW and it was newish. I mean, it wasn't brand new, but it was a few years old, and we were going to get a pretty good deal on it. And the thing is, we didn't want to take out a loan. We wanted to pay cash. So we pulled out, I think they wanted 18 something or 19 something. And we pulled out $18,000 cash, and we go look at the car, we do the test drive, and when it came time to hand over that money, it's not that easy to hand over a stack of like a 3-inch or 4-inch stack of $100 bills.
Right.
But that same car could have been at a dealership, and we could have got it for the same exact price, and we wouldn't have had a problem, or most people wouldn't have a problem just, oh, okay, sign here. It's your car now.
Right.
It's just so much easier. You're not handing over stacks of cash.
Right.
So when you have that money, like, and even still, when we bought cars after that, when you hand over that stack of cash, it makes a big difference. Like, I know I'm getting my money's worth.
Right.
Because I'm not just going to hand you over this money.
So think about how different it would be if we today would shop with cash versus plastic.
Yeah.
You know, think about that.
Yeah.
There's some things that we wouldn't be buying if we bought cash.
Oh, yeah.
Because you would think, do I really need this or do I want this? Do I need this or do I want this? Can I do without this?
And then they're like, oh, here, it's going to be $2,000 for that TV. And then you got, okay, let me count my hundreds. Okay.
Right.
1, 2, 3. Oh, shit, I'm still going. Oh, how long did it take me to work for this? And then you hand it over to somebody else?
I wonder
it's not
when.
that easy.
I don't remember when things switched over from cash to plastic.
Probably while we were growing up, little by little. At that time, it was switching, because you remember they had the credit card machines that you used to put it in the little thing, and then they would run it would kind of like get an imprint of your card.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember those growing up.
Yeah. See, I don't think that was a good move, but they knew what
it's a bad
for
move.
us. Yeah. For us, but for them, that's fine, because the more they were in debt,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just a bad cycle.
And the thing is that there's stuff there is stuff out there. Like, if you want to learn about money and debt and all that kind of stuff, like, there's information. There's all kinds of information.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can pick up a book about it. Mm-hmm. And if you would like to pick up a book about it, you can go to oppositeattractpodcast.com or oppositeattractpod.com.
I'm like, wait,
I had my own dyslexic moment, or whatever the hell you want to call it.
Oh, now you're saying I'm dyslexic.
No, I said my moment, not yours. But no, so yeah, you can go to oppositeattractpodcast.com. You'll see the support the show tab at the top. When you click that, it'll take you to our Amazon link. Anything that you purchase through that link doesn't cost you anything extra, but it also helps out the show. And you'll also see a link to Trust Inc. And Trust Inc. is?
We are a nationwide mobile notary agency. We do a lot of work for title companies, law firms. So if there's a document that needs to be notarized, hit us up and we'll help you out.
Are we having a stroke?
I am.
I think we're both. If you need a mobile notary.
And we're not drinking, by the way.
You can go to Opposites Attract Podcast. Like, we're about to go down. Oh my God.
We're drinking kombucha today.
Is that what it is?
Alcohol.
No, there is. There is a little bit.
Oh,
but anyway,
but not enough.
Hey, babe, I'm still not done with the freaking plugs here. Holy shit. You can also see the podcast on oppositesattractpodcast.com. You can subscribe. You can share the podcast. You can reach us by, you can leave us a message on oppositesattractpodcast.com, or you can call us at 480-912-5128. We're also affiliates with Libsyn. That's who hosts our podcast. And if you guys are thinking about starting a podcast and you want to get the first couple months or month and a half for free, you can go to LIBSYN. And when it asks you for a promo code, use OAP for Opposites Attract Podcast.
There you go. And hey, we have a shout out.
We do?
Yeah.
Who we shouting out?
To all those that have shopped.
Oh, that's right.
Are you going to?
Everybody
let me finish?
Yeah, go for it. I almost forgot. Yeah, no, go, do it.
Exactly. So whenever you go to our website or there's a certain link that we have,
for Amazon,
like we said,
we get a small kickback.
Yeah.
And we just got paid out. So thank you guys so much for all of you who, go to our link to make your purchases through Amazon. We appreciate you guys.
What makes it special is it's the first time that we've been paid for the podcast.
Yes. Yay.
Which is
congratulations.
Which is pretty awesome.
Congratulations.
So, thank you. We couldn't have done it without you. We appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
Yes.
And that's the end of the podcast. See you later. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. So
anyways, going back to that movie, you're talking about $18,000. I know there's going to be some financial gurus thinking, hey, that's not a good move. $18,000 cash for a car when you could get that $18,000 to work for you. But that's if the interest rates are good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Use other people's money. So yeah, we know. We've learned from some things.
Yeah, but it depends on what you're buying. And a car is not one. A car is not one where you want to just get yourself into a loan or into debt.
Yeah.
That's just not one. A house, maybe, if you can make money on it. And there are times when you can, like right now, I don't know if I would buy another house.
Yeah, it
just depends on the market.
Right now, it's the rates are good, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just depends.
Yeah.
So
what's up?
What's up with you?
What's up with Nacho Libre, huh?
Yeah, we watched Nacho Libre yesterday.
So funny. I'm like, wait a minute. This is PG? I had no idea because all the movies that he does, what's his name?
Jack Black.
Yeah, Jack Black. They're usually like rated R.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think they are. I don't know that he's got another movie called School of Rock. I don't know if that's PG or PG-13. But no, Nacho Libre, like for some reason, we must have, like I was telling you, we must have watched it a while back before we even had kids.
Yeah.
So thinking of that movie, it didn't make sense to me that was PG and it was a movie that we could watch with the kids.
Right.
But we were looking up a different movie on Netflix. I think Nacho Libre is on Netflix, right?
Yes.
We were looking up a different movie on Netflix and it suggested Nacho Libre. And we're like, oh, really? So I just kind of went over it and then I saw it was PG and I'm like, oh, this is PG?
Yeah.
And oh man, it was such a great movie. It's funny.
Yeah, it is funny. We're gonna have to watch it again. I fell asleep. I didn't watch it all. I fell asleep.
Did you?
Yeah.
I watched the whole thing.
I was tired yesterday. I was exhausted.
Yeah.
Just.
So for those of you that are quarantined in the house with the kids, if you guys haven't watched Nacho Libre, it's a great movie to watch with the kids.
Yes.
And Joey this week sold one of his helicopters. Right. He's got these
little entrepreneur.
Yeah, it was cool. It was funny. So we bought the kids, or we didn't buy the kids. The kids bought themselves these LED helicopters from China, and they bought like 200 of them so that they could sell them and make some money. And then I don't know. We haven't been very good at going out and selling them because they can't really do it without.
We did a couple times,
and they made their money back.
Yeah.
So. But here recently with the quarantine and everything, they can't really go out and sell anything. But Joey went to his friend's house and he gave all the brothers helicopters for free. He's like, well, he's
little LED helicopters that
they got a rubber band. You shoot them up in the sky,
and
they kind of spin and come down. But he gave his friends some for free, and then they came over here. But I didn't know that he had given them the ones for free. Yep. So he came over here and I see his friends giving him money.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I sold him a helicopter.
Yeah. Yeah. It's my boy.
And I was like, oh, okay. And at first I was going to say, like, why don't you just give him one? Because they're like 50 cents or whatever.
Yeah.
And we were selling them for like $2 when we were out there selling them. But I went upstairs and I was talking. I was like, hey, how much did you sell it for? And he sold it for even cheap. He sold it for $2. And but he told me, he's like, I gave them all one for free and theirs broke. So now I sold them one. And I'm like, that's a good idea.
Yes.
I was like, all right, I'm cool with that. You gave them one for free. It broke. And I was like, dude, that's how they get people hooked on stuff. I was like, he's going to start selling. He's like, here, your first one's free. When it breaks, come back and see me.
Right. That's cute. Hey, funny. Man, we're doing good. Like, even though, we're unsure, you see things that they do and we're doing good. We're leading by example, and it shows. It shows.
Yeah.
They're learning some things from us.
They are.
Hopefully they learn all the good things from us. And then, yeah, you know.
They'll pick up some of the other shit too.
I know.
Especially if they ever go back and listen to this stuff.
I hope not. But you know they are.
Speaking of stuff that we don't want the kids hearing or listening to, we were a while back, a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about the freaking ball gags. You remember that?
Yeah. What about it?
Are you scared right now?
Yeah, I'm like,
you don't know what the hell I'm talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The ball gag. For those of you that don't know, I can't imagine that
we don't have one.
No, we don't have one. I'm sure a lot of you would assume that we do, and probably different varieties or whatever, but we don't.
No.
Or do we? But anyway, no, we were talking about the kids, and we were like, you know what? Like ball gags, that's like a really, like if you own a ball gag, like you're a fucking kinky person, right? You're into some shit. But then I started thinking, I was like, you know what? Maybe they're not as kinky as you would think, because the way ball gags probably started is like parents trying to have sex without their kids finding out. So it's like, look, like you probably needed 2 ball gags back in the day. Like, look, you put one in, I'm going to put one in, and then we're going to have sex. And neither one of us can make a fucking sound, and the kids can't hear anything. God. You know what I mean?
I hope our kids...
So if you guys want to go pick up a ball gag on Amazon, go to oppositesattractpod.com, click on the Amazon link and buy it through there.
But what? Did they hear something?
No, I'm just saying, like, it was just a funny thought that I had. I was like, ball gags were made for parents. That's what they're made for. It's not for these kinky, crazy ass people. It's made for parents.
So if you guys are looking, if you're in the market to buy a house right now and you have little kids, okay?
No, shit.
Let me share something with you, because we were not thinking when we bought this house.
Yeah.
Not thinking at all, because their bedrooms are right directly across from our bedroom. There's no split floor plan.
No,
that's what you want.
Literally from our door to our bedroom to their doors, it's a little hallway of maybe 2.5 feet, 3 feet.
Yeah. Yeah, no bueno. That's all I got to say. Look for a split floor plan. And what would even be better
is if it had a secret room that you could put all your shit in. That you could turn into a dungeon.
We already have a contract with my niece to clean out our house. If anything happens to us,
that was
clean out our house and put a Bible in our nightstand.
You can't steal that. You can't steal that. That was Adam Carolla. That was
yeah, but we've talked about that.
No, we
too.
have. No, that's a fucking legit service that we need to make. We need it.
No, we don't need a service. I already talked to our niece.
Okay,
she's got it handled.
Everybody needs that person that if you unexpectedly die, that they go and they clean your shit out. They clean all your shit out. They delete your fucking browsing history. They put a Bible in your nightstand. Yeah, everybody needs somebody. Everybody needs somebody that has their back like that.
We got to make a song.
Oh my god, that's freaking funny.
Anyways,
yeah. So
hey, it is what it is, man. We're just real, and now that's not going to work because we just told every listener
we're trying to help people, man. People need that shit. They need somebody to come and clean their stuff up just in case.
Right.
Yeah.
Some funny stuff. Good stuff.
So there's been a bunch of stuff with like all these this happened a little while ago, but like the monuments were getting torn down. Mm-hmm. They're talking about like Aunt Jemima. The other day I went to the grocery store and the lady was like, everybody's buying Aunt Jemima bottles because Aunt Jemima's getting taken off of the syrup bottle.
That's just insane. That's crazy.
The Redskins have the football team. The Redskins have officially now changed their name. They are no longer the Redskins. And they haven't really figured out a name, but they're going to be known as the Washington Football Club or football team or something like that.
What good is this bringing?
They haven't decided on the name yet, so they're just leaving it that for now. What else happened? There's people that are arguing about in real estate about the use of master bedroom. Like that's a problem. That's also another problem that people are having. Mount Rushmore, they were talking about like, that they were slave owner and like maybe we should change the faces on Mount Rushmore. And this all kind of came from the whole protests and everything that's happening. And I said it in the you remember when this thing first kicked off?
Yeah.
Like one of the things that I said was not to be fooled when we start getting taken in different directions and, like you got to stay focused on the issue at hand. But now, like if everything matters, nothing matters. You know what I mean? If everything is a big deal, then nothing's a big deal.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know, man. There's just some things. I'm like, okay, so you change the Land O'Lakes lady. She's the Native American lady that's on the Land O'Lakes box. They're taking her off. They've already taken her off.
Yeah, they've taken her off.
I saw it on one. They probably just haven't changed all the products yet.
Right.
But on some of the butter, like it's gone.
Yeah.
And it's
what
like,
I don't get it. What good is that going to do?
No, the world racism's over now. You've heard, right? It's all done. There's no more problems because the Land O'Lake lady's gone. Aunt Jemima's gonna leave. They're taking down the statue, so there's nothing to worry about anymore. It's like, what the hell? What the hell are we doing?
Yeah.
So
the real issue at hand is not getting fixed.
That's how we get. It's like we're like the dogs when they see the squirrel. It's like, oh shit, we got something going on here, and then squirrel, you're gone looking at something else. And I knew it as soon as the stuff started kicking up. I was like, something's gonna happen that's gonna start derailing this stuff. These
but
conversations.
How did that all start?
Probably
how did
it comes
how
from
did
the
that
media.
even become?
It comes from the media. The media pushes all that stuff
an
out
issue.
there, and then everybody starts to see it. People start getting on board. And then you get distracted from the actual issues that are at hand. Yeah.
No bueno.
So we're recording this podcast on Saturday. And I saw something. I saw a couple news things before we get out of here. So I guess they are working on a new stimulus check. So if you guys haven't heard, there's like another stimulus package that's going to be going through. I don't know the details of it, but you guys can look into it if you're interested in finding out about that. And the other thing is that I saw something today where as soon as today, so you guys, something may have already happened by now, but Trump was looking at using his executive order or signing an executive order or using his executive power to actually ban TikTok in the United States. So that's and that all has to do with, the Chinese spying, the Chinese government spying on the people here and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But like we were saying before, like with all the crazy shit that like there's actual crazy shit happening and then there's real shit that's happening, but it's all fucking nuts, man.
It is. We're living in the Twilight Zone.
Yep.
I just remembered the.
Yeah. Yep. That's what it is.
Oh, and with that, on a happy note.
Yes. Thank you guys for being with us. Thank you for following us. Make sure you go to Opposites Attract Pod or oppositesattractpodcast.com.
Yes.
Where you can follow us. You can also just search Opposites Attract Podcast on Google, on any of your social media, and it'll pull us up. Just look for our logo. You can also give us a call at 480-912-5128 if you guys want to leave us a message. Let us know how we're doing. If you guys want to ask us any questions, you guys can call that number. Or
maybe you know something we don't know.
Yeah, maybe
and you would like to share
maybe
something.
You think we're full of shit and you have a difference of opinion.
Yes.
You can give us a call and leave us a message, and we'll talk about it on the podcast. So
Yes. So until next time.
Bye.
Bye.